Hey, it's Tyler, host of the Tyler Knows Everything podcast, where the nose is crossed out because I always want to learn more. My guest today is a couple of local podcasters that started their own show called the Masters of Fitness. Please welcome Thad King and Ernest Doyle.
Tyler
knows
everything.
All right, everybody, we're here with the Masters of Fitness, Thad King and Ernest Doyle. Thanks for coming on today.
Yeah,
Thanks for having us.
yeah,
Man.
thanks for having us.
Well, you guys, of course, have your own show, but you've been put on hold due to Tropical Storm Imelda.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you had some flooding in the studio and had to hightail it out of there. So you're in the in-between phase.
Yeah.
And so just tell us what you've been up to since then.
Really, we just really been trying to grow our social media presence. Still been putting. Good thing we had recorded 13 episodes. So for everybody who hadn't followed us on social media, Instagram, we've been cutting clips, putting it on there to kind of keep people enthused in the show until we get everything back going again. So,
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, so we're in the process. We'll be ready to go sometime this week. Just got all the equipment. We pretty much just lost a hard drive.
Ah, yeah.
So a hard drive flood, I think about 8 inches. They just rebuilt the studio, but
Oh yeah, they had at least that much.
yeah, but we decided to move location, so we actually moved to a nice little office space I have in my house. I'm gonna turn it into a podcast studio for the time being. So
Yeah, is it going to be part of the combination home gym area? Or-
no.
Oh, okay.
Well, see, I thought about that, but then I thought about also I don't want my dog tearing up everything.
Yeah,
so
that's true. Yeah. And that's new too, the home gym, right?
yeah, well,
Fairly new?
I've been about a year since I
Okay.
had the home gym, so I would consider it new. It looks new because nobody used the equipment but me, so it's pretty nice. So I like it. So.
How's that been as far as time management goes, where you used to maybe, if work gets busy or you're doing something, in life and you can't make it to the gym at a specific time, or even like a CrossFit gym, you have certain times that you can go.
You go to classes,
and you
yeah.
may miss out on that. So what's it been like having the option right there?
Well, if you had an iWatch and an Apple Watch and had Earnest on your little friends thing, you'd see
I
he's
think
always finishing a workout.
I think I average about I think last month I had 76 workouts that I recorded on my on my iTunes.
And that was a month?
That was a month.
So a month has 30 days,
yeah.
but you had 76 workouts?
76 workouts. So I always tell, like, one thing I always tell people, you have to set yourself up for success. So with me, while I work at ExxonMobil, we have a gym. So I'll get up, typical day, I wake up 5 a.m., get dressed, I get to work at about 6, so I work out from 6 to 7. At the gym, I do strength training. I might do some bike. I do like 20 minutes on the bike, just getting ready for the MS 150. Then leave work, then I go straight to CrossFit. Do CrossFit from about 4:30 to 5:30. Go home, do everything I need to do with the kids, help them with homework, take them to practice, whatever soccer field they got. Then I go into my home gym about 9.
Yeah.
So from about 9 to 10, I'll do some strength work or, just powerlifting stuff. It's harder to do WODs at home. Like sometimes I'll ask Thad or Nick, be like, hey, man, y'all send me a workout to do real quick. And I may not do it because they be giving me some hard stuff that I'm not motivated to do at home. So especially this guy. So I work out there till about, I'll say 9:30 to 9:45ish.
Yeah.
And then I'll do yoga from like 10 to 10:30, and then I'll go to bed.
Wow. So it's almost like 4 workouts in one day.
Yeah, 4 workouts in one day.
Yeah.
But it's never a session I never let myself go longer than an hour with
Sure.
each session. So
And it's so varied, like you said, you've got the cardio in the morning.
yeah, cardio,
weights in the-
bodybuilding in the morning, CrossFit, powerlifting, and then yoga.
And then yoga.
Yeah.
And that's very beneficial. I've wanted to get more into the yoga here recently. All the fighters are doing it. All of the big time athletes have really seen some good results with it.
Being like you say, as we get older, your muscles and everything don't recover the same way. You start those joints I feel like, to me, it's probably not the right medical term. Everything starts to seize up and stove up. You just get tight.
Yeah.
You feel like the Tin Man walking around.
Well, that's a good example of people that stop moving.
Yes, stop moving.
Yeah.
You've seen, I've seen guys that are just 10, 20 years older than us that completely stopped working out and got into that sedentary lifestyle.
Yes.
And, they have to have help getting around. And,
What's
they're going-
everybody's favorite thing to say? Oh, I used to work out when I used to do all
Right.
that stuff when I. So why
Yeah.
you not doing it now? I mean,
Yeah, and I was at this little luncheon at Basic Foods, which is a health food store, and there was a guy there in his 80s, and they said he was one of their first customers ever, and he comes every day. He doesn't really like to buy a week's worth of groceries because he wants to be out and about. So he'll get what he needs for the day and use that
and just stays moving.
Yeah, and what I noticed, he talked a little bit about what he likes at Basic Foods, and I remember seeing him walk in at a brisk pace and then just say, all right, see you later, and then just bebop out like a teenager.
Bebop.
Yeah, and just the other day I was at a restaurant where a couple that was his same age had to have like someone help them to the car with a walker, and I thought, wow, look at the two differences in your lifestyle choices and changes.
And like you said, it's just about being at that age, you get into the functionality purposes of it. That's why I like CrossFit and functional movements, because squatting, deadlifting, push-ups, those are things you have to do. Say if you're an older person, like I work with my mom, I teach her basic movements in regards to like just getting up off the couch, because that's what she's going to have to do as she get older with hip replacement, bad knees, being able to push yourself up off a wall as a scale version to do a push-up is about functionality at that age.
I noticed the biggest difference when I did CrossFit was when I had to help someone move furniture from one place to the next. And I was like, this is so much easier now. And you got somebody on the other end like, hey, you good over there? I mean,
because you treat everything like a workout with CrossFit.
One time me and Clint Martin, who goes to CFB and coaches over there, we had to move a bunch of cinder blocks from a trailer to a truck bed. And we looked at it and we were like, man, that's a huge pallet of cinder blocks. And he said, well, if I'm doing one every 2 seconds and you're doing one every 2 seconds, we're going to knock this out pretty quick. Yeah. And I was like, I never thought about that. If you look at real life, like an AMRAP.
Like an AMRAP,
Yeah.
I did the same thing. I'm in the YMBL, and so we were sitting down for the fair, and we had to pull up all that rebar where we warp off the parking stuff. And there was a guy pulling up with the trailer. I said, man, you know what? I hadn't got a workout in about a couple of weeks. I'm going to see how long it takes me to pull the rebar up around this big parking lot. So I just ran through and just pulled it all up bare hand. And to me, it was a workout. And it was like, man, you crazy, you retarded. I say, that's how we think.
Well, your career is you're real heavy into this when there's storm and flooding. So when you heard about Imelda, you probably got called in at a crazy hour in the morning.
Well, they put us on 12-hour shifts, and I was on the day shift, but I had to be at work at 4 a.m. So,
and that's for drainage district number
7.
Number 7. Yeah.
So that morning, whenever it got really bad, I left the house at 2:30 in the morning because I'm like, okay, it's going to take me a little while to get to work. I didn't finally make it to the job till probably about 9 o'clock that morning.
Dang.
Because I tried about 4 different routes, and I never could get up on the highway anywhere, and ended up stranded on the corner of 124 and Highway 69 in my truck in the parking lot of that little store right there. I just called them. I said, man, somebody's going to have to come get me. I can't go anymore. It was raining so hard that water was coming up, faster than what.
And that's when they got you in the military truck, huh?
Right. They came and picked me up in a big old military truck. Then we went and picked up another guy, and then we all ended up back at work.
Wow. And so where was everybody when you first got the news that the studio flooded?
Man, it kind of was I think Josh sent me like a text. He'll say, man, the studio probably flooded.
Yeah, because at that point, you had heard about the Elegante. Of course, you saw that on social media, and the Mercedes dealership, Mike Smith.
Sam's and all that.
And that's pretty much right across the street.
Yeah, on my way to work that morning, my first attempt was going down College Street, and I took a right on the feeder road. When I got to the highway, headed towards Cowboy Harley, and our studio is right next door to Cowboy Harley.
Yeah.
And it was so deep right there. There was a 18-wheeler stalled out and all kind of stuff. And I looked up the road, and I'm like, this ain't good.
But then you always hold out hope. Will's like, man, okay, maybe it's in the back. Didn't get you need a lot of feed. Then was like, maybe we could save the hard drive and the computer. So, but yeah, it was. But then again, it kind of.
Yeah, the computer was sitting on the floor.
Sitting on the floor.
That's the only thing we lost.
Yeah,
everything else was on the table.
Everything, yeah. So realistically, the only thing we really lost was I would say the location.
Yeah.
And the location and a CPU. Mm-hmm. That was the biggest thing. Once we finally got it, because actually we picked it up maybe the next day, because I was actually headed out to do a half marathon that weekend, that Saturday at the Plano Balloon Festival. So I went, picked it up, dried it out, and then once we finally got it to a computer guy, Josh did, he opened it up and said it was gone. The hard drive, we thought the hard drive was at the top. I'm not a computer guy.
Yeah.
but actually the hard drive and the power source was all sitting at the bottom.
Oh, okay.
The bottom when it flooded. So, and it was about, you could see the water line. I think I sent a picture to Thad, and it was like, he said, "You think it's gonna be all right?" I was like, "Man, I'm just gonna go run this half marathon and forget about it for a second." So
the marathons and the cycling, is that new for you?
oh yeah, it's new for me. I ain't never done nothing like that before.
Yeah.
I mean,
So what inspired you to pick that up?
well, sitting in church one day, my buddy, my fraternity brother, what I call my line brother, we pledged together at University of Oklahoma, and so he texted me. Normally we talk, but he never like calls. Like people, when somebody calls and leaves a voice message, and their voice message was like, "Hey man, give me a call. I got a cool idea you want to talk about." I was like, "Man, what is he? What is he trying to get into?" I was like,
Yeah,
man,
calls nowadays are serious.
Oh, serious?
Just
Yeah. So
text
like,
me.
he said, "Man, I got a challenge for us." I was like, "Okay," and I was already thinking about doing the MS 150. I've been wanting to do that for like a couple of years.
And tell people what that is. It's a 150-mile bike
Yeah,
ride?
so the MS 150 is a ride for multiple sclerosis, and it's a ride from Houston to Austin, and you do 75 miles each day.
Okay.
And they have like checkpoints that you stop at, and you could go all the way to Austin. Now they have some extreme guys who could do it all in one day and go real quick. You know, that's the super cyclist. But then like for the average novice person, you just get on your bike, you ride with a good pack, and they have like, I think they have stops every 25 miles. They have check stations, so
That's
you get your
good.
water and stuff like that.
Because that's
And
probably
so
about 2 hours.
yeah,
right?
about 2 hours worth of riding. So, and the biggest thing with that, like I had a buddy who did it last year, and he wasn't the most physically fit person. He said it's just time on the seat.
Yeah.
He said that's the biggest thing. He said you could do it, but it's just time on the seat. So
Right.
so coming back to it, he called me. So maybe he wants to do the MS 150 because we vaguely talk about it. And he said, "Hey man, we're gonna do I got an ultimate challenge, man. Blah 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 blah. I've been thinking about it. It's gonna be my 40th birthday. We want to go hang out in Greece and go party." And I was like, "Cool. So what's the challenge?" He's like, "We're gonna do an Ironman."
Wow.
I say, "What?" I said, "I don't even know how you talking to a guy that doesn't know how to swim."
Yeah. Yeah.
I said,
And at this point, did you even have a bike?
No, I still don't have a bike.
Oh, you still
So yeah, I still don't have a bike. It's like $2,000.
Right, exactly.
Like that.
Yeah, because there's a little higher barrier of it. You know, running, you just get out there and go.
Yeah, run and
But
get 100, but a bike.
For swimming and cycling, there's a little bit higher barrier of entry. You know, you can. There's cheaper bicycles out there, but you can't be competitive in these races.
So first thing I did, I consulted like thinking about competitor. So I text Richard. I was like, "Hey man."
Yeah. So Richard James.
I say, "Richard, what do I need for a bike?" He was like, "Oh man," he started sending me a whole bunch of links, everything like that. He said, "If you really want to get expensive, those carbon fiber bikes," he said, "you'll be flying down the road and make." It says it's all about how easy or how hard you want to make the race.
You can lift them up with just your fingers.
Your fingertip, yeah.
It's
So he
moving.
called me. He was like, "Man, yeah, we're gonna do an Ironman next November."
And tell us the distances on the Ironman.
So the Ironman is a 2-mile swim. You have an hour and 40 minutes to do the swim. It's a 115-mile bike ride. You have 8 hours to do the bike ride, and then it's a full marathon.
Yeah. So just a full marathon is hard by itself.
Yeah.
Never mind the swimming and the cycling that you have to do before
And
that.
so what's interesting about that is that I found that so building up to it, we did the half marathon. That's why we're gonna do the marathon and the Chevron marathon in January. I signed up for that. The MS 150, and then we go going. Then I'm gonna really focus on that latter part of the year, focusing on the swimming part of it. But to me, even when I ran the half marathon, and Thad probably could attest to this, is once you get going on something like that, it's just about just staying moving.
Yeah, that's probably more mental.
Yeah, it's more mental because we're not out there. You have 17 hours to complete the whole thing. We all under agreements like we're not trying to just go out there to break records. We're here to just finish, compete, say we did it. I think one of our friends did it. He finished in 14 hours this year. So it's just 14 hours of continuous movement. And his biggest thing was once he realized he could do the swim, everything else was easy.
Yeah.
So the hardest part is just swimming for 2 hours because with the swim, you never physically stop. Because even on a bike, you can stop on a bike, put your feet down and rest.
And open water is
open
whole
water.
thing.
So you swimming. So even when you stop, you literally you have to keep going. And it's
There's no
to me
side
that would be the hardest.
and it's mentally because you can't put your feet down and
there's
just
no
rest.
side of the pool.
There's
that
no
you
side
can
of the
grab
pool.
onto.
Yeah.
And if you've seen professional triathletes or people that are in the magazines and on TV, you don't have the same body type as those guys.
So even when I was running a half marathon, I was like, "Man, what you doing out here running a half marathon?" I was like, and that's why I do so many varied types of training. That's why I have to like really focus on it and do everything. So I get 2 days out the week, I'm on a bike for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Just 30 minutes a day.
And I have seen those outliers where you see a pretty buff dude that is doing marathon running, or Richard James, he's an outlier as well. He's a pretty big guy that's also strong and setting powerlifting records, but he can also do the endurance sports at the same time.
It's just more or less where you at over time. Like if you like a person who's just jumping into it, then you won't, like, you can't build your strength and do that much cardio. But if you just done this for a period, like Richard, he's been doing this stuff forever like that.
Yeah.
He's an endurance guy and he does weightlifting. So it's all about just the accumulation of it over a period of time that allows you to do it all. So
right. And so Thad coaches a variation of CrossFit called CrossFit Endurance. And how does that difference from like your day-to-day WODs?
Well, for the most part, it's just a longer workout. I try to keep the weights to a minimum for most of the time. I mean,
it's kind of like if you're doing a daily WOD and you switch from the RX to like the women's RX or the scaled version, you can go faster and it gives you more of a cardio
workout.
Right.
Yeah.
But we'll typically go. I try to formulate everything to be about a 40 to 45 minute workout, which is a long workout. I mean, a long CrossFit workout is 20 minutes.
That's a long. That's right. Like, what are we doing here? Man?
Because it's constant moving at high intensity for 20 minutes, and for a CrossFitter, they kind of like that 10, 15. Because you're going 100%.
100%.
But what I do is I keep the skill level of the particular workouts to not so high skilled.
Right.
I pretty much keep the barbell out of things. I use a lot of the dumbbells and kettlebells and just medicine balls and stuff like that.
No clean and jerks or snatches. It's going to be more
right. Keep the technical stuff out of it.
Yeah, because like the dumbbells and the kettlebells, you can just grab it real quick and
pretty much
and stay moving.
Yeah. But I really focus on trying to make it fun for everybody.
Yeah.
And it's turned in. Ernest was there yesterday.
Yeah. The poor guy who you paired me up with, he was like, man, why you pair me up with?
Yeah, the attendance has been really good.
Oh yeah, it's one of the most well attended classes. Over
25,
CrossFit
25, 30
we had 26 people in there yesterday.
And is that one set up similar to the other Saturday classes where it's a trial type that where anybody can come that's a member, but also non-members of the community to check it out?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so tell us what day and time is that?
That's Saturday mornings at 8:30.
Okay.
So my class, a typical CrossFit class is 60 minutes.
Yeah.
But my class is 90 minutes. It goes for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And that's good because it gives everybody that time to get in, get flowing, because we spend about, 10 to 15 minutes just warming up, getting your heart rate up.
I make sure to take everybody through a real good warm-up so everybody's getting ready for the workout. And then, we can kind of not rush through the class so much, because that's what a lot of times through CrossFit classes, I feel rushed, and I'm trying, like I said, I'm trying to make this fun for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing of what I like about it is that everybody's finishing around the same time. So that's how like the skill level is not super high skill level, just all conditioning, all cardio, light weights, and stay moving.
Right.
Even the workout we did yesterday was more catered to, like, everybody was going to finish the same time. It was 5 reps and run, 5 reps and run, 5 reps and run. Basic concept, you know what I'm saying? So everybody was all gearing up.
Yeah.
Do most of them have partners or teams or sometimes individual? It just depends.
No, they're all partner workouts.
Oh, okay.
And that's what makes it fun too, because like you by yourself working out all week. I need somebody to bounce something off with, and it's fun to me when I go to the class.
This is a formula that I've been working on for about 6 years.
Yeah.
I started off the classes in like 2000. Well, actually, I started them at another gym back in about 13 or 14, and then I ended up over at Golden Triangle CrossFit in 2015.
Yeah. And for Southeast Texas, that's really the early days of CrossFit. We didn't have the first CrossFit gym, CrossFit Beaumont, until 2009.
Yeah.
So Thad's an OG.
Yeah, that's right.
And it was funny because I didn't like going to the original classes because it was more for we was run a whole bunch.
Right.
They all started out. They were all running.
Yeah. So over the years, you've kind of tweaked it a little bit.
Yeah, I tweaked it to start to where I could tell I was getting a better attendance.
Yeah. There you go.
And I could tell. You can just tell by the way people talk, through the week about, hey man, I really like that, or
Oh, sure.
And sometimes you don't get any feedback at all, and you're like, okay, well, I guess I failed on that one.
Yeah, well, and then you get to the point now where you have members that are promoting it for you.
Right.
Exactly.
They're
Yes,
taking
that's the key.
taking the selfie and saying they went to Thad's
That's
class and
CrossFit.
or bringing somebody next week and inviting a friend.
Thad's a mastermind behind these workouts. He'll send them to me and Nick like a couple of days before. Say, "What do y'all think about this?" And we'd be like, "Man, what? you gonna kill those people?
Who
man.
I'm mad at? You mad at somebody?
Yeah, exactly. Who you mad at? Who you trying to get?"
Oh, it's so funny too because when you see one on paper, sometimes that looks easy. That's usually the
Man,
worst.
whenever you think a CrossFit workout or a workout is going to look easy, it's going to hurt.
Yeah, you're fooling yourself.
Yeah.
Well, both of you guys are pretty early morning. What do you like to do for your caffeine? Do you do anything?
I've just recently started doing straight black coffee because I fast in the mornings.
Okay.
So it's either green tea or just straight black coffee.
Yeah, that's your only option. Yeah.
And just growing up, I just thought that's how you're supposed to drink coffee. My dad would just always wake up and drink straight black. Two cups of black coffee and a biscuit.
I didn't like coffee until I was about 35.
Really?
But now I like it. And I finally acquired the taste. Now, when I first started drinking coffee, it looked about the color of my skin. But
that's not coffee. Yeah.
When I experimented with the keto diet, I had to do black. So I kind of acquired the taste of black and just throwing some ice cubes in there a little bit.
And that's what I do. I'm straight, bold, dark. I'm like you said, I'm not I know coffee doesn't taste good. And it's weird because it smells so good. And I think it said taste buds kill like 30 something chemicals in coffee. So we actually don't really taste how it tastes. So if you think about it, you smell it, it smells good, but it doesn't translate to taste.
Yeah.
It's more of an acquired taste. So I just straight chug it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll put some ice cubes on it to cool it off and I just straight drink it.
I'm similar that way. I'm not the type of person that wants to sit on a porch and sip coffee.
No, I'm
only drinking the coffee for a purpose.
For a function. Yeah.
As if just like a supplement. Like you don't sit there and hold your protein shake with two hands and smile and
drink.
No, you chug it and then you go do whatever you're about to do.
And caffeine is one of the most natural supplements that actually work. And I tell people, they say, "Do you take pre-workout or BCAAs?" And I say, no. They say, why? I say, because I want you to go look on the ingredients on the back of your pre-workout. What's the number one ingredient? It's caffeine.
Yeah.
Save yourself $50 a month and just drink some coffee.
Sure. And then the other thing too is when you just drink coffee, you know exactly what it is. But if you look on the ingredient list of any pre-workout, there's about 50 ingredients in there, or it'll have what's called a proprietary blend that you don't tell you what's in there. And some of it's like, pink alien pee or something.
And I'm not telling people don't buy pre-workouts. To each its own. But
because some of them are fun.
To me, I'm not going to spend the extra money if I could just get a free cup of coffee at work.
Oh yeah, sure. Coffee is so overabundance, and it's social, so it's
everywhere.
Yeah,
you can go into any hotel room and you go to any hotel front desk and get a free cup of coffee.
Yeah. What about you, Thad?
I drink black coffee.
Okay.
This is black coffee right here.
Yeah.
And I don't have a problem with the taste of it. I like the way it tastes. I'm a little different, But like as far as like before a workout or something like that, I'm on the theory of in CrossFit, my heart rate's fixing to come up pretty quick.
Anyway,
I do not need any help getting it there.
Yeah. Good point.
So I've actually I've taken those pre-workouts before and get in the middle of a workout and it just tears me up. It makes things way, way worse.
I'm also more of an afternoon coffee guy because when I wake up, I'm ready for life.
Yeah, so I'm like, 12 o'clock is when I need my cup of coffee.
Yeah.
After I eat lunch, I'm sitting at work at my desk like, Lord, I didn't eat too much food. I need to wake back up again.
Right.
So.
Yeah. I feel great in the morning. I'm ready for the day. I wish I had some more of those things like a cold blast or kind of like the cryotherapy or a sauna. If I could do that in the morning, sometimes I do that when it's cold outside. Just run
Go to the sauna.
I mean, it really wakes you up.
Yeah,
there's something to that. What about supplementation for you guys? What's your go-to? And you may have had to adjust it a little bit for more of the endurance, I guess.
So, this is a big topic.
Or just eating more.
So I don't take a lot. I don't take hardly any supplements.
Yeah.
I just drink my whey protein and just my biggest thing is I'll just try to get as much as I can out the foods that I eat.
Yeah.
So I'll just load up on protein, load up on my vegetables, take my multivitamin. But as far as like any other supplements, I can say I hardly don't even drink whey protein anymore.
Yeah, because the whole purpose of drinking a protein shake is
to supplement what you have.
Yeah, it's I'm on the go and I don't have a meal. I didn't prep my food, so I'm gonna drink this. Well, now meal prepping has gotten so easy and so much more common that we almost always have those containers with us. And so I don't really have any protein shakes either because I've prepared for the day. I would rather eat food.
Now, in something like you do, like you said, you get benefits out of different proteins, like the BCAAs work, but I think it said you get maybe like the 2 to 3% benefit that you get off of it. The whey protein, used to do creatine. Creatine is a good one that really works, but I'm cheap, so but creatine, whey protein, BCAAs, those, and caffeine are like the
staples,
the four that if you have to take any type of supplementation, those are the ones that you should take.
Yeah, I took significantly more supplements probably when I was a teenager in college because of the hype.
Yeah, the hype. Right. You don't know no better. You open most of the fitness magazines, say, oh man, this guy got a 6-pack abs. He's doing that. I'm going to go take that protein.
And it's preposterous. They have these professional bodybuilders that are, doing exogenous hormones. And they're holding, that particular brand of creatine. I said, well, he looks better than this guy that has the other brand of creatine. So I'm going to get this.
Knowing that it's not the creatine. It's the, we ain't going to get into that subject, but it's the.
It's similar to the guys that are on the Bowflex commercial.
Yeah.
They probably none of them use the Bowflex.
I remember I watched remember MTV had those True Life stores or whatever, and they had like True Life for the fitness model.
Oh yeah.
And this dude was getting ready to do a fitness show. Like he pretty much like did a whole bunch of potassium, just like dried himself completely out.
Right.
So he could look like that for sure. I say, so these people really don't look like this. They don't walk around looking like that year round. That's like 2 weeks in or a month in, they know I had this photo shoot going up, all series of photo shoots, and they get in really good shape.
Yeah, typically anybody that's doing a bodybuilding show or figure or fitness, they're going to have a photo shoot like that week before.
Yeah.
And if maybe they're a trainer or a nutritionist and they're going to use those photos for their marketing, they're not going to use day-to-day photos.
Yeah. And it's like you say, so those are the supplements that I would, I'm not advising people what to use, but those are the ones I've used and I'll use before. If I wanted to, I would go back to using. So,
right. What about you, Thad?
I'm like Ernest.
And I see your meal prep. You do pretty much. You're like me, where you can eat the same thing every day and you really don't get tired of it because I think you're eating the food for fuel. So that's
it. And I meal prep for some friends of mine too. I got 3, 4, 5 people that I meal prep for, and I tell them, this is for fuel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a gourmet meal. This is for fuel, and nobody has a problem with it. But I don't. Trust me, I've spent no telling how many thousands of dollars through the years buying different types of, wonder supplement. Something's going to do this and do that. Mm-hmm. I don't think out of everything I've ever bought, there might be 1 or 2 products that I could honestly say, oh yeah, man, that worked.
Mm-hmm.
But the supplement business is so unregulated.
Yes,
that it's hard to tell what's in that stuff.
Yeah,
and
it's a big money maker.
Because if we decided like, hey, let's go get a brand, let's start our own pre-workouts, BCAAs.
Right. Because you could
just order bulk from China and just start blending our own stuff in our garage and selling it.
And all you have to do is just put somewhere in the fine print the claims that we're making are not evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. You're good to go.
So if you go to like all these fitness shows or expos, everybody has their own brand.
Yeah, that's right.
BCAAs, I say, I know these people. None of these people are scientists. None of these people have labs. They all getting this bulk compound from the same supplier and just putting a new sticker on it.
Yeah, and it's whoever has the most followers, whoever has the most hype, that's who people are going to buy from, but it's coming from the same laboratory probably.
Same laboratory. Yeah. And you can't, and like you always say, you can't supplement hard work.
Yeah, and you don't know the purity.
Exactly,
like you said, coffee, that is regulated.
Yeah, it's there. It's coffee.
Certain standards.
I could trace my coffee back to a coffee bean. You know what I'm saying? I could trace it all the way back. So
right. Yeah, you can even go to the grocery store and ground the beans yourself. Yeah. And you know where they're coming from.
And even when you say supplementation, I think people will say like they treat proteins like casein and whey proteins more as like a meal replacement than actually say it's a supplement because it's just protein.
Right.
I mean, it's not doing anything that you wouldn't get if you just ate all your protein for the whole day.
Sure.
So,
if you balanced your meals out properly, and and had all the macros where they should be, you don't need supplements.
Right. Yeah. And have you done any experiments with the intermittent fasting?
Oh, I live and die by that. I've been intermittent fasting for 4 years now.
So what's your window of time?
I do 8 to 11 or 12 every day.
So you're doing 8 a.m. to
to 12.
To
12, yeah. 8 p.m. No, I'm sorry. 8 p.m.
Oh, 8
till 8 p.m. till 12 the next day. So that's considered the 16-8.
Yeah.
So you fast for 16 and you feed for 8 hours. So.
And so you basically, in the common way of life, you would, I guess, quote, skip breakfast, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
And that's when you have your black coffee, and then you wait for lunch.
Like drink water and just keep myself busy. And that's what I tell people. I say fasting is just you're just skipping breakfast. If you skip breakfast and just keep yourself busy till 11, anybody can do intermittent fasting.
Sure.
So the hardest part is on the weekends.
Yeah.
When you're not at work and you wake up at 9, you just walking around your house and your kids eating snacks and all that stuff.
Cereal and pancakes.
But my whole family is intermittent fasting. Even my kids, they don't eat breakfast till like 10:30, 11 o'clock. So,
okay.
This is what I do. So I like it.
And did you notice any performance benefits, and then also appearance-wise?
I've noticed more or less with appearance and just feeling overall like healthier, like mental clarity, because the concept behind it is just the fact that real simple is your body is not focusing on digesting. So now it can focus on cell replenishing, like getting yourself more healthy, growing your hair, just other aspects of your life your body can focus on instead of just digesting food all the time.
Yeah,
So,
it's probably more natural and primal of a human to do that anyways, because they would have to hunt and kill and
you
prepare.
ate in bulk and you didn't know when you was going to eat your next meal. So you just, once again, you just traveled and walked, then you ate your next meal. They didn't have it set up where they ate breakfast, lunch,
because
and dinner.
Especially if they're sleeping, they didn't have food ready.
Yeah, you
because
don't.
They had to go get the food and gather.
Yeah, they didn't
the
have an ice box. They didn't have no way to store food. You know what I'm
No.
saying? So you couldn't just store it in an ice box, wake up, open it up, and put it on the stove. No, they had to eat as much as you can because you didn't know when you was going to get your next meal. And then you would go to sleep, wake up, let's go hunt and kill again. We eat again, and we travel. So,
Well, I've tried the whole intermittent fasting thing, and I did it for a while, but I never felt like that was something that I was really getting a whole lot out of. I mean, I'm pretty smart with the way I eat anyway, and like in the morning, I drink a smoothie in the morning, so I don't feel like it's real hard on my body digesting it anyway.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just everybody's different.
yeah, then it all boils down to, because even if you did intermittent fasting and you ate bad and overate, it's not going to save you. You know what I'm saying? So it's still...
You still have to be smart.
Yeah, push come to shove like that, say you still have to have maintaining that caloric deficit and just eating good, natural, and healthy foods. Because I could do intermittent fasting and just eat cheeseburgers and fries and still go over my caloric deficit for that day, and I'm still killing myself. You know what I'm saying? So...
Yeah, that was interesting when last February when I tried the carnivore diet for 1 month is I did it more for an experiment of the lab results before and after, and I was curious about the health benefits, but I wasn't doing it for appearance-wise. But throughout the course of that month, I did get significantly leaner, and I didn't anticipate that. And I think it was from eliminating a lot of the high sugars.
And that's what it's about. So if you just all about just eating clean, healthy, and right food. Like if we go back to, I think it was Ben Bergeron talks about, we eat a lot of foods now with added sugar into them.
Yep.
Like, that's the thing. Like, why do we have to add sugar to strawberries or add sugar to watermelons? I really naturally has sugar. And I always say, like, our taste buds for sweetness are jaded by the refined sugars that we eat now, because a strawberry, you eat it now, you're like, hey, this is not as sweet as a strawberry candy.
Yeah.
Because our minds too keen to be like, that candy tastes more like strawberry than actual strawberry taste.
Yeah, and that sugar, it's super addictive.
It's super addictive. So in the past, like you say, when our ancestors or people didn't have all the stuff we have now, they ate fruits, it was sweet to them.
Yeah, that was their dessert.
That was their dessert. But if you eat a strawberry now, you're like, oh, it's just a strawberry. I mean, it's not, because we
a banana.
A banana, yeah.
When I eat a banana, I'm like, bleh.
Yeah. but it's just the nature of it now, to where we think like that's how it's supposed to taste, because it has so much added sugar into everything that we eat. So
Yeah, the food industry is just ruined.
it manipulated us.
So much stuff.
Have you seen any of the Netflix documentaries about the vegan lifestyle?
Oh, yeah.
There's that one
I think Dad just told me about the one
Game Changers.
Game Changer, yeah.
Yeah, what'd you think about that?
Oh, I liked it.
Uh-huh.
You know, matter of fact, I just finished my 3rd week with no meat.
Yeah, so I think I remember you telling me that you were going to try a plant-based diet. So are you?
Yeah, I'm just doing probably just like a vegetarian, not vegan.
Yeah, because vegan's harder to do because it's not available foods that are common. You have to eliminate everything that comes from an animal.
Where we live, you know, like in Beaumont,
It's tough. It's tough to supplement it.
You know, there's probably people out there in vegan land in Beaumont that will disagree with me, but for me personally, it's just too hard to do that really strict with the resources we have.
Yeah, vegetarian's much easier. So tell us what you've been doing and how it's been going so far and any differences you feel.
We have just eliminated meat, you know.
Okay.
I still eat eggs. As far as the way I feel, and that's another thing, you know, I just had this conversation yesterday morning at the gym with somebody. I haven't had any big, you know, aha moments.
Yeah.
But it's kind of funny because I really don't miss the meat. I hadn't ate red meat in probably 3 years.
Okay.
I cut all the red meat out of my diet. So it really wasn't that hard. You know, it's kind of hard to explain. But we go to, like, on Friday nights, a lot of times we'll go eat Mexican food. I'm just getting, you know, bean and cheese nachos. And,
I guess like cheese enchiladas or something
Yeah.
that you can do.
cheese enchiladas.
Right.
And there's a lot of places like Jason's Deli, you know, they have a lot of vegetarian things. I just had...
and that's where a vegan would have trouble because they can't have cheese.
And that's my biggest thing is I did vegan for a couple of days a week, and vegan is hard to do. Like, people don't understand how hard it is. Like, that's why I switched to just saying plant-based.
Yeah.
Because I realized vegan was not just about food, but it's like an overall lifestyle. It's where, like, a lot of vegans, extreme vegans, don't kill animals or use animal products, period, like leather or anything like that. I was like, it's a little extreme.
You got to do that stuff right. I mean, I was just watching, they had a guy on Joe Rogan this week that was talking about the health.
Yeah.
The health consequences of...
Yeah, they talked about game changers and kind of how he would dispel a few things here and there.
Right.
And he kind of talked about the benefits of an omnivore diet, which is a little bit of everything. Yeah.
But you guys, you get into these, to the vegetarian and the vegan, you got to be careful because you're going to start getting, you know, there's a good chance you're going to probably get B12 deficient, and you're going to get, like they're saying, 3 to 4 years into it, a lot of these real strict vegans are having problems because they're not taking in any lipids.
Right. Yeah.
So everything gets all out of whack in their body.
And some of them get a little extreme where they're doing it and it's somewhat okay as an adult, but then they're making their whole family do it and their kids. And it's real difficult for a growing kid when they're lacking certain deficiencies.
And there's nothing wrong with, like you say, so I'll do it just so I could learn, like me and Thad talked about, learn about alternatives to just eating beef and pork, and like saying, I could eat chickpeas, I could eat these different type of things. So I would get the food. Like I ordered like some vegan marsala from this lady in Houston. It's called Creole Hyphy. Really good food. Yeah. And my kids sit there and ate it, like ate vegan food, but I'm not going to say, okay, that's all you could eat. Now don't go eat a snack cake or don't go eat cereal.
Yeah. I would like doing that, a vegan meal.
A vegan meal every now and then.
Just not a vegan life.
A vegan life. That's what I tell people. Say, just try it as an alternative to eating everything like you told, like pork, chicken, beef, and fish every now and then. You can't even trust the fish these days. That's farm raised. But so that's why I changed my mindset from just saying vegan out of respect for the vegan people who live that lifestyle to just saying plant based.
Yeah, because the vegans usually have two directions. One, they're either doing it for the health benefits or health curiosity, and then the other, they're doing it for belief system.
Belief system,
They don't want to be mean to the animals,
like spiritual and
that.
stuff like that. So, but don't get it twisted. You could eat vegan also. There's plenty of days I didn't have nothing to eat. Well, I drunk a Coke and ate some Doritos because it was vegan.
Right, yeah.
So, like
true.
French fries from McDonald's are vegan. You know what I'm saying? So,
vegan,
even like you say, in these different lifestyles, eating that way still doesn't lead to a necessarily healthy lifestyle. You still have to make the right choices when you eat the foods.
Sure.
So, Oreos are vegan.
Yeah, and that makes sense that you wouldn't feel completely different right away because with us, the three of us having been working out for decades already.
It's already on that spectrum to where you're not going to see a lot of...
If you take some, sometimes where you get a lot of the claims about vegan is you're taking somebody who's sedentary, who doesn't work out, who eats like crap, and then they completely make a lifestyle change.
Yeah.
They start working out, they start eating a plant-based diet or a vegan diet, and they make all these claims. And I said, well, that's because you got off your ass.
So it wasn't just the diet, it was the combination of the whole lifestyle change and working out and eating good foods that caused you to do like that.
And that's why I try to experiment with the lab results before and after I make a change like that, so I can kind of show people the differences.
And it's good that you say that because a lot of people do this blindly without getting the lab results or out looking at blood work to see how their body's responding or what am I actually... I'm taking this multivitamin, but I don't need vitamin A because I'm only deficient in vitamin D. So maybe I should be taking vitamin D. I don't have to worry about taking all this other stuff because my natural body is fine. I'm getting it from the foods that I eat.
Yeah, you really don't know. And I think I might do 2 months this coming year. So for 2020, when February comes back around, maybe I'll do February and March and extend it by 2 months for,
For
carnivore.
So carnivore is just meat, like just.
Yeah, just meat
nothing
only.
but meat.
And it's bizarre.
That sounds a lot more fun than vegan. No offense to vegan people, but
I really enjoy it because it's so easy. It is a little limited because there's just beef, chicken, or fish. You take your pick. And,
so you don't eat
pork,
like any like carbs, or what carbs? Carbs work with it?
They're like literally nothing. Yeah, so you try as much as you can.
The carbs what the animals eat.
Yeah.
Yeah, you try to just do maybe salt and pepper a little bit. And that's it. And I did eggs and bacon.
Okay.
Which is easy because we're already eating that.
Man,
anyways.
I could sit down and eat a ton of eggs. I would just be afraid I wouldn't get full.
Yeah, I didn't have trouble feeling full because you typically can sit down and potato chips are endless. I mean, if I'm watching a movie,
that's empty. Yeah.
But if I eat a steak, and it looks funny because you usually have like a small steak and then a side of it's more meat, right?
Yeah.
I'm not hungry for a while.
Okay.
And I would have my 3 meals prepped, and I may only eat 2 because I was getting into eating like a pound of meat at a sit down. Now where you run into trouble is social events. Are also my kids produce a ton of leftovers. I did an experiment one day where it was my 2 kids and their friend, and we all went to. Sometimes we like to go eat at the food court in the mall because you have all the different choices, and they all end up at a different place. And I said, I'm not gonna order anything. I'm gonna let y'all get what you want, and then whatever's left over, I'm gonna eat. They had more leftovers than I would have eaten myself. And so that's the hard thing for me is when I do carnivore, I end up throwing a lot of food out because they're eating hamburger helper or pasta.
And
I can't even eat a little bit of that. And they they're not into leftovers, as much as I try. So I ended up wasting a lot. And but it's fun.
It seemed like it would
be a challenge for me to do a plant-based diet or a vegan. That would be more of something I would not enjoy, but I would do it for the research purpose.
You got to get pretty creative.
Oh yeah, you have to get creative. We tried tofu. Me and my wife did.
Yeah,
and it was. No offense to tofu, it was the worst thing I've ever eaten.
But I've cooked some dishes with it in there, and I don't have a problem with it.
You have to hide it. So if you do like a tofu scramble, like when pasta sauce or mixed in with other food is good, but I'm talking like just trying to do cubes of tofu.
Yeah, it's not meant to be sit down and cut you a hunk of tofu.
That's what I'm trying.
I think you try to make it take on a flavor of something.
What it is. So you really have to saute it down and cook it down, but then I get into the point like I'm really just hiding it and just eating it for like a filler
for the protein source.
For the protein source. Yeah.
So as you guys increase in age, have you done any lab work on your testosterone levels? Out of curiosity.
And I was going to go back to that and talk about that in supplementation because I would be remiss if I didn't mention that I do just being transparent. I do testosterone replacement therapy
because you're at the proper age for that.
Yeah. So I remember. 3 years ago, I went and actually got my levels tested, and they were at 200. My levels at 200. I was 32, and so I actually been on it. That was about 33. So I've been on it for about 3 years now, and I love it. And what I tell people, a lot of guys or men our age, even my buddies who like, man, I'm tired. I ain't got no energy to do nothing. Because I say, well, go get your blood work done. Go get tested and see what your testosterone levels are. Because doctors will tell you normal ranges is from the age of 300 to 1 to 1500 is the normal ranges, but normally 300 range is a guy like at the be 70 and 80, and I'm like, I'm 37 years old, I'm active, I like to work out, I need my levels, supplement my levels up to about 800 to 1,000 just so I can function and do everything I need to do. So yeah, I'm a big proponent of men getting their testosterone tested and actually doing testosterone replacement therapy, man.
Yeah, so it's like the fountain of youth for men.
Yeah, that's what I say, man. You feel like you're 18 again.
Yeah, an aging man is dying.
Yeah.
Your testosterone, once it goes down, you have a lower level of alertness. You can't retain. You're working out and you're not getting the results, and then you're quitting because you're frustrated. And it's not you or your willpower. It's your
is your testosterone.
Yeah.
And then it's just had, and only thing we could blame it on is evolution, because people died earlier and we're living longer now.
Yeah.
So back then they didn't need testosterone levels in the thousands until they were 70. But now you got people living like 70 still active out there moving around doing stuff. So
Right. Yeah. Due to modern medicine, our life cycle is longer, and it's almost like you get to that point where your organs and your cells can only hang on so long, but you're still there.
I'm still like, no, I still want to do everything I want to do. I shouldn't cheat myself. And that's just a problem with the medical industry, because even a lot of doctors are still skeptical about, you have to find the right doctor that will want to treat you with testosterone replacement therapy. A lot of doctors are like, don't want to give it to you.
Yeah, I try to find doctors that are athletes, because they tend to understand us better. And especially medical school does not have heavy nutrition. I've gone, because my degree, my Bachelor of Science degree is actually in nutrition, and I don't do that for my career, but I still have that knowledge. And I've even had doctors that I work out with and things, and they're just now getting into that side of things, and they're asking me questions, because they didn't learn that in
that's
medical
because
school.
Our medical system is taught to treat sickness. It's not taught to be preventative.
Sure.
And that's the thing, is like, I want to prevent myself from getting sick. So you won't give me testosterone replacement therapy, but you'll give me 1,000,000 medications for heart disease.
They'll give you a statin,
heart pressure, for any pain I got. You'll give me an opioid to go take, an antibiotic, but I'm just trying to make my life a little better.
Yeah, it's backwards.
You won't help me supplement that. It's like and a lot of people don't like to talk about it. So.
Yeah. And I definitely don't go to the doctors that say, well, hey, I'm working out and it hurts when I overhead press, and you don't want to be the guy that says, well, don't do that. You want to say, how can we get you back to 100%?
How can we get you 100%? How can we help you function? Let me give you some movements to do before you go work out to prevent this from occurring again.
Right.
But most doctors be like, oh, don't squat ever again in your life. Like,
yeah, don't heavy deadlift.
Don't heavy deadlift,
which is one of the most beneficial movements. Yeah.
Well, I started having issues with that stuff way before I ever started getting into CrossFit or anything like that. It's been, shoot, man, I'm going to say probably at least 15 years ago. And,
And so what are both of y'all's ages now?
I'm 52.
Yeah, I'm 36.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. And so we're about the same age. I'm 37.
Yeah.
I'm the old guy.
Yeah.
Thad looks like he's 40, 45.
Well, he does. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you could pair him next to lots of other 52-year-olds.
Yeah, and there's no comparison.
Yeah,
that's
or
OG.
his stats of what he does in the gym, especially.
Yeah, I get hung up on that, because we enter all our stuff in the computer every day, at the gym when we finish our workouts, and I look, I'm like, dadgum, man, I know I can beat this guy, but this guy I'm trying to beat is 20 years younger than me.
Yeah,
but that's a good place to be, though.
So, but anyway, the whole testosterone thing, years ago. Before I got into CrossFit, I probably didn't lead the cleanest lifestyle ever. So I kind of contribute to my deficiency to the way that I was living. But, I mean, it could be a lot of be a natural occurrence also.
Yeah.
But mine got like so low to where I was literally feeling sick.
Really?
I didn't know what was wrong with me. I mean, I felt horrible. All kinds of different things was happening, and I went to my doctor, and he was like, "Well, hold on, let's test you." And I don't remember. It's been so many years ago.
Yeah.
I don't remember what my levels were. And I went through. This was before, doctors were really even
thinking about it.
I used to have to go to my doctor like once a month.
Yeah, it wasn't as common then. Yeah,
it was hard.
Right.
Because
was that you in your 30s or 40s then?
I was in my 30s.
Okay.
Because it's hard, because everybody thought that
I was probably about 38 years old.
Because people abuse testosterone. That's like base level of steroids. Is people boost like taking 500, 600, cc's of testosterone. When actuality, we do it more or less. It's not just for performance in the gym. It's for a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Like the mental sharpness, the overall health.
What's
back
funny?
then,
and like if you have some of the professional bodybuilders, they almost know more about that particular side of things than the doctors.
Yeah, the doctors.
Like, they have really got it dialed in of what you need before, during, and after, and the milligrams. They're like scientists when it comes to that.
Yeah, but they're also,
But it's black market.
Black market they're abusing. But like you said, you could put in TRT, testosterone replacement therapy in your phone now. You get 1 million guys who can give you'll swear, say these dudes sound like doctors.
But the way I was living back then was the perfect example of kind of almost these days of how not to do it.
Yeah.
people didn't know as much then, and they were real conservatives with it. So.
And were you into fitness at that time?
No, I wasn't
not
even
at
into
all?
fitness. No,
Yeah.
not at all.
Yeah.
I tell a lot of people, they tell me, they ask me, what'd you do before you got into all this? I'm like, I don't know. I was a professional beer drinker, really.
Yeah.
That's just what we did.
Smoking cigarettes.
I smoked cigarettes, but that was years and years ago.
Okay.
I threw them things out a long time ago, but
Yeah.
that's just what we did. We'd get off work, go get a 6-pack, 12-pack of beer. All your buddies kind of hang around, talk, and next thing you know.
See, when I met that, I thought he was just like the ultimate guy for his
Yeah.
whole life.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think, you're like, man, who's this? This older guy is like really low key keeping up with me in workouts.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you would think he was a NCAA track star.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But
But
it
when
goes.
I made a decision a long time ago to change all that.
Yeah.
And I did. I changed the way I was living. I went through a few little stumbling
Blocks. Yeah, everybody
blocks
stumbles. Yeah.
along the way, but it's gotten better. But back to the testosterone thing, it's the way they did it back then was almost just as bad, if not worse, than it just being low all the time. Because you'd go in there and like I'd get a shot on it. It would be like a month in between.
Really,
Yeah,
month in between shots.
Right. So you would go in there feeling really, really, really bad, and then he would give me an injection, and all of a sudden, the next day I'm like, woohoo, all right, man, I'm feeling good. It was just like a flip of a switch on a light switch. Unbelievable. And then after, 10 days or so, you'd start going down, and by the time it got to where you had to go to the doctor again, you were so low, you were almost lower than where you started.
Than where you were before.
Yeah,
To
so you get a lot of
start.
peaks and valleys.
It was horrible. I mean, I can't even explain how bad it would make you feel, because you'd be up and down, up and down.
Oh, wow.
It was not fun,
Yeah.
And finally, through the years, I finally found a doctor that would keep you on a even keel.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, because testosterone plays into your mental
part too.
Oh,
yeah.
big time.
and confidence level, and that's why males have that bravado.
That bravado. That's but like you said, it's more than just about the fitness side of the testosterone replacement therapy. It's just about function of life. Being able to go out and be with my kids, hang out with my wife, do things, and not be dead tired at like 8 o'clock every day and just want to just go home and go to sleep.
Yeah,
So,
and keep up. The days of our dads and the baby boomers that come home after work and get in the recliner and just go into a coma is probably where a lot of that came from.
Yeah, exactly. But now it's not with kids. You can't do that. Y'all know that. You stay busy. Like you stay going all the time. You got to have the energy to do that. So.
But it's funny. We're all sitting around here talking about it. We're talking about this on a podcast. But even today, some of these people, even around my age or even just maybe a little older or whatever, this is still a taboo subject.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's
very.
right,
It's
yeah.
like people don't like to talk about it.
Yeah,
Like,
because they get the misconception that if you're having to do testosterone replacement therapy that you're less of a man or something,
Yeah,
and that's
man,
not
I
the
know.
case. It's natural genetics for it to decline.
Yeah,
there's nobody in human history that kept 800 milligrams per deciliter.
No,
their
it doesn't.
entire
It doesn't
life.
stay like that.
It doesn't
no,
exist.
yeah. It literally starts to, and like you said, it varies from person to person.
Right.
Like for me, it was my early 30s. I was like 200.
It could be 30s,
yeah,
it could be 40s. The most important thing is just you need to go get your
Blood work done
Yeah,
and
your
tested.
cholesterol and triglycerides checked anyways. Just ask them to add on the testosterone. And like you said, it hasn't been as common because every time I go, I have to ask for them.
You
to
ask for it.
and then they're like, "Well, why? You're only 37." Like you said, well, you were
Yeah,
32.
but no, I want to know what's going on.
Yeah, so
And
why
that's
wouldn't you want to know?
So I tell all my buddies, hey, when you go get your blood work, ask for this full panel. You're paying for it. Your insurance literally pays for you get like blood work twice a year.
Right.
Just tell them that's what you want. The doctor's going to do the shortcut and just do the basic panel and say, no, get the full panel.
Yeah.
See how your body functions. That's the only way to know what you're deficient in and what you don't have is by looking at your blood work.
Sure. Yeah, and then other ways that you can help that out is doing the deadlifts and the squats and the big lifts that's been shown.
So just we bring it back full circle. So that's one of the reasons why I don't have to do a lot of supplementations because I've got my natural testosterone up to a level that what it should be. So I don't have to spend a whole bunch of money in other supplementations because I'm back to where I should be as a person, a functioning male, trying to get by, working out and all that stuff, my body can now handle things as they normally handle them. So
yeah, it brings you to your natural level.
Natural levels, yeah.
You're not doing exogenous amounts.
No,
you're
natural,
You're the normal Earnest that you would be.
And like you say, for full transparency, like if I do my blood work, I'll be at maybe like, you do your blood work 7 days after your first shot. So I'll be like at 700.
Yeah.
And then, so like the end of the 200 maybe starting the week, and then maybe like end of the week, keep it about 700, 800 is where my levels normally would be. So,
yeah.
And the only way I know that is because I do my blood work.
Sure.
So,
yeah. What do you guys think on moderation of like junk food and alcohol nowadays?
well, like I always say, Ben Bergeron told me I can have 4 alcoholic beverages a week. So I've been living by that rule for the past 4 months. But before that, I even altered how I drink. Like even if I was to go out, I would drink like a straight vodka and like club soda. I wouldn't drink like with
low
Coke.
calorie.
So I cut all the extra. So if I do drink, I cut all the extra calories out of my alcohol. So,
Yeah, it's kind of like doing black coffee.
like black coffee straight. Now you might get a little tipsy a little quicker, but like straight shots, or like even I drink a whiskey, I'll drink one whiskey glass, drink it straight, neat, just a little bit of ice, not with dousing it with Coca-Cola and all that other stuff. So
yeah. Yeah, same thing for me. I like the whiskey and bourbon.
Yeah.
Just do it by itself. with
by
ice.
itself and just sip it and be good.
Yeah.
So
I don't drink.
I know
You
Thad's
got rid of it, yeah. Yeah, and
I
that's
got
probably
rid of
because you
that
drank
stuff.
so much before. You wanted to get
Yeah, I mean, I could get into some good stories on that. But yeah, I've had my fill of that. You know, I wake up in the morning feeling like crap, you know, and it got to where it didn't really take that much
really.
to wake up the next day and
I'll
start
tell
feeling
you.
bad. And I'm just like, man, I'm too busy. I don't have time
Yeah.
to feel like this. You
Yeah,
know?
at my age now, the recovery isn't worth it.
Oh no, man!
It takes
This-
an entire day to.
I think me and my wife went out. We had, some good whiskey, had a couple of drinks, and I woke up Sunday. I was like, you know what? This is not for me.
No.
It's not worth it because I don't want to do anything that's going to affect my workouts. So I was like, man, I can't go run now. I got a headache. I say, no, it ain't.
This
it ain't.
coming January's will be 4 years that I haven't drank.
That's
anything.
good.
Oh, wow, that's
good.
incredible. Yeah, because I think if you cloned yourself and you take the Thad that doesn't drink and the Thad that drinks, and they go head to head in a competition, which one would win? You think that.
Like, how was it?
pretty sure.
Anything you do is kind of like, how does it benefit me and my fitness and just what I'm going to do? So like I said, everything in moderation. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You can even be smart about how you drink. You can drink healthy, but just don't overindulge or don't overdo it. So,
Yeah, alternate a drink with water.
with water, yeah.
and then you're going to run out of time. You're
eat
probably,
a good meal
and say no to the shots at this point in time, because that's just it gets out of hand.
It got so, yeah. So I think it was a rule of thumb. I think I was listening to a guy. He said, because sometimes it's a lot of social pressure to drink.
Yeah.
So he said, order the first one, order the first drink the first one, order another drink, but don't finish the second drink.
Okay.
And nobody would ever know. So you're not in a situation where you're like, man, you're not drinking. So you don't, it's like some social settings, I don't want to say causes you to drink, but like it's the social pressure to drink. You don't want to be, we're social creatures. You don't want to be the outside guy like that person.
If you're a woman, people think you're pregnant.
Yeah.
When you go to a social event.
Exactly. So you're not drinking, you must be pregnant.
Yeah. And then when you're a guy, you get poked fun of. So you gotta kind of navigate those waters and know.
Luckily, all the people that I hang out with now, used to years ago, everybody I hung out with would start drinking, and you drink till you were drunk.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, all the people I hang out with, Earnest, or everybody just might have a couple of drinks.
Yeah, so it's not a big,
it's no big
and that's
deal.
and the same thing. People I hang out with, nobody's over drinking. Everybody's
Right.
like 2 or 3, so you're not seen as the outsider person.
But
Yeah.
me personally, I never thought I'd say it in a million years, but I can honestly say that I really don't miss it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy with the way I feel. I'm really, really, really
Yeah.
happy. And it's just every now and then we'll be eating like Mexican food. We used to always go eat Mexican food and drink margaritas.
Margaritas, yeah.
And I'll look at one, man, that thing would probably taste good, but no. I mean,
What does it say?
I get to thinking
about. Spoiler alert! It does taste good.
it does, but I can always remember how I would feel, after
after having
I'm not
going to
go to
so.
the Mexican food place and drink one margarita.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Well, I'm
ain't gonna
cheap,
happen.
so that's another. So me
And
being
especially-
me being cheap, that kind of attributes to me not drinking a lot.
Yeah, because the tab when you
Oh man, it's
Drinks
drinks
more.
more than food
Yeah.
these days. So.
and if you dive back in after 4 years, tequila's probably the worst thing to get.
Oh Lord,
Man,
yeah.
I can't stand tequila.
Yeah.
I had a
I
bad
don't know.
experience when
I'm
I was
happy.
18. I don't. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, let's wrap this up. Tell everybody where they can find the existing episodes and.
So we're Masters of Fitness podcast on Apple, Spotify, Podbean, and Google Play Store. So you can download 13 episodes. We got a couple of little maybe 5-minute episodes I did just playing around my phone. So it's about 14 to 13 different episodes you can download, listen to it. Tyler was one of our.
He was one of our first guests.
One of our first guests. I think it actually was our second guest.
Second one.
Yeah, you guys
that came on the show. So
that was right after I finished the 1,000 pull-ups. In
1,000 pull-ups that came on. So everything you hadn't even started. You started recording your shows, but you hadn't even started putting them out yet. So that was a long time ago. So yeah, so we just Facebook, Masters of Fitness on Facebook. You can actually that's where we keep all the videos for our shows. You can watch the videos because we do the live feed, and also on Instagram. MOF_podcast on Instagram. So we just got into the whole social media round with the podcast, because before it was like our separate ones that were kind of personal pages, but now we found out, hey, it's a good venue to use to have a separate page to kind of push our product out there. So
any big plans or teasers for 2020?
Oh man, like you say, we moving the studio. We just recently got all the studio equipment, got microphones, got everything. We just got our brand new computer built yesterday, so we ready to roll. So I'm excited. We're gonna start doing a lot more live shows, kind of like how you've been doing, going to CrossFit Gym. So wherever they'll take us, we'll record it. So
yeah, that's gonna be really exciting.
Yeah, so.
Well, I can't wait to see everything that you guys are going to be up to. Thanks for coming.
Oh, no, man. Appreciate us having us on.
Thanks,
man.
Tyler.
So it was a no-brainer when you asked. She was like, what do you next? Just tell us to come to the studio. So
welcome back anytime.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
All right, see
Thanks.
you guys later.
All right.